Hi, everyone. Good morning to you. It is 8 o'clock on the start of a Monday. Glad you're with us for Second Cup. Now's the time that we want to hear from you. And whoo boy, do we have a lot to dig into this morning, including the former president's attempted assassination. This is a huge deal that I really do want to hear your thoughts on. What do you make of all of this? What do you think about what happened over the weekend? And how do we move forward as a country? We're also going to be talking about parking in the city of Buffalo. So if you were at the Taste of Buffalo or you were at any of the other venues, attractions, what have you, in downtown Buffalo or beyond this weekend. I want to know what your experience was. Were you able to find a parking spot? Was it a little confusing for you? Did you wind up paying for a parking spot? Do you think you should have to pay? All of these things are super important as we dig into our top stories today. But first, before we get going, I want to know, did you have a great weekend? Katie is off today. She had a great weekend. She and I were at the Taste of Buffalo on Saturday. I was food judging, and then in the afternoon, we were able to bartend as well, which was super cool. We saw so many of you. I posted some pictures on my WKBW Instagram page. You can follow me at Dranch TV. I also posted them on my Facebook page. So if you want to take a look, we had some family fun yesterday on the water. Just a really nice day. Okay, before we move any further, I want to remind you that Second Cup, there we go. It's all mirror image here. Second Cup is now sponsored by the Nickel Plate. And so, okay, so we've got these super cool mugs, the Nickel Plate. Love having them as our sponsor. Thank you so much. But listen, for all of you cuppies out there who are huge fans of the show, the Nickel Plate has something super cool to give away to the first 98 of you who go visit the Nickel Plate. Jeanette, good morning to you. She says the Nickel Plate is awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. I can't wait to go check them out. Okay, so for the first 98 people who go and visit the Nickel Plate, you're going to get one of these mugs. Look at how cute this is. Ben, can you zoom in here? I don't know if you can see it. It says Cuppies Love. Isn't that adorable? So the reason why there are 98 is because there are actually 100, and Katie and I have 2 of them. So there are 98 left over. They're on a first come, first serve basis. And we were so excited to get 2 of them. I know, isn't this so cute? Cuppy Love. You guys, this is like made for us. This is so cool. The Nickel Plate is in the Seneca Babcock neighborhood, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry, the Clinton Bailey neighborhood. It's in that old Clinton food terminal. I'm just going to find the address for you so that we can all go visit. It's at 1500 Clinton Street. And it's that old like farmer's market terminal. So if you're ever in the Clinton Bailey neighborhood and you're visiting the farmer's market there, it's in that same spot. But this is like an eatery and a marketplace. So there are all different things. There's booze for sale. They're going to start serving breakfast. Right now, they aren't just yet, but they will start serving breakfast soon. All of these artisans have their stuff, their wares on display. So if you're interested in getting one of these cups, go check out the Nickel Plate. Tell them that we sent you, mention that you're a cuppy, and you'll get one of these super cool Cuppies Love mugs. That is so cute, isn't that? We're going to have the guys who own the Nickel Plate on the show with us in the next couple of days. I can't remember if it's tomorrow or Wednesday. Nonetheless, it's going to be super cool. Really glad about this partnership. And Julie says she wants one. We're putting the address in the comments here for you. So just make sure that you are stopping by, mentioning that you're a cuppy, and you'll get one of these for free. Peter says they should make more and maybe some proceeds go to charity. Hey, that's a really good idea. We'll have to chat with them tomorrow when we go through this and figure out what's coming up. John just texting me on the side here saying they'll be on Wednesday. So make sure that you're watching and make sure that you're tuning in. Hey, Lori, good morning to you. You look like you're the Lone Ranger today. Yep, sure am. Sean says, Nick and Ty are awesome. They're the owners of the Nickel Plate. They're the former owners of Mazurik's Bakery. Yep, our salesperson, Emily, upstairs said that they are just a great couple, super cool, huge fans of the show, and we're really thrilled to have them as our partner here. Connie says, oh, I need a couple of those, Ed. Okay, Connie, you got to go visit the Nickel Plate. Get one of these mugs. We're really excited about them. Today is Connie's daughter's birthday. Happy birthday to her. T is with us. Hey, Trinetta, good morning to you. Sherry says, I can't wait to see the picture you took Saturday. It was hot at the Taste of Buffalo. Okay, so I met Sherry while Katie and I were bartending at the Taste of Buffalo. Sherry, if you go to my Instagram page, Dranch TV, and John, maybe you can pull it up here. It's on Facebook as well. Katie and I actually met Sherry and her husband and her son, who wants to be a meteorologist. So we said, hey, if you want an internship, let us know. He's a sophomore at Brockport. So we were super excited to meet him. But John will pull up my Instagram page, or he'll pull up my Facebook page, one or the other, and we can show that picture. Hey, Brittany, good morning to you. Glad you're with us. T, thank you so much. We love you. Lauren says she needs that mug. Okay, so maybe Lauren will go visit the Nickel Plate, and we'll get one of these mugs. I don't even think they're open just yet, Peter. Watch it. We're all going to log off Second Cup to go get the mug. Listen, first 98 people who get in line there, I suppose, mentioning that they are a cuppy will get one of those mugs. So, hey, don't all rush there at once. Okay. John, do we have that picture or no? Because I wanted to see if we could show it. I can pull it up on my end if not, just so that we are. I wanted to show Sherry because I thought that would be super cool. All right. Well, John's doing that in the meantime. Let's talk about this. Former President Trump. Up there it is. Okay, here's the picture with Sherry, Katie, me, and her husband. What a cool opportunity to meet Sherry. She goes, oh, I watch Second Cup all the time. We're like, no way, that's awesome. We lost our minds. We were so excited. But it was a warm day, so we were happy to be serving up some cold beer. And the coolest part about it was that we were serving them in cans, so we didn't even have to pour the beer or get sticky. And like sometimes how the head of the beer, like that foam, sometimes like screws up the rest of your drink if you don't pour it the right way. So we were thrilled that we could just hand out cans of whatever it was. It was Jenny beer. So Sherry, glad that you're with us. Follow me on Instagram at Dranch TV. The Nickel Plate. Good morning to you guys. So glad that you're with us. We're so excited to give these cups away. So the Nickel Plate opens at 10 a.m. this morning. And again, you want to get there because we've got these cups. They're free. Mention that you're a cuppy and you'll get one. Okay, now let's talk about the news, the highlights, because this is a huge deal and super important that we talk about this in a civilized manner. And have the conversation. It's important that we have important conversations and hear your voice on all sides of the issues. So number one, Donald Trump is standing at a rally in Pennsylvania, and it's just outside of Pittsburgh, Saturday, about 6:15. And, this is 3 hours south of Buffalo. So it's not like it's in a strange place, or not that it doesn't matter where it is, regardless. It's 3 hours outside of Buffalo, period. Somebody on a rooftop starts shooting at the president. A bullet whizzes past the president's head and clips his ear, like pierces his ear. He is bleeding. He ducks for cover. And then the Secret Service jump on top of him and try and whisk him away. So I just wanted to hear what you have to say, because I think it's important to give you a space to vent, to voice your concerns, to voice your anger, whatever it is. I just want to know what you're thinking this morning, because realistically, you are the people, it's us, all of us, who are being urged to unite. We are being urged to lower the political rhetoric and lowering the volume of the political tenor, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's just a tense moment in our country right now, regardless of what side you're on, knowing that this election has a lot at stake come November. Joyce, good
Well,
morning
want
to you
to
once again.
really see
Back to
something
you
that
from 5
said,
o'clock. I've
take a
been
look what
avoiding
happened.
crowds for over a year now, especially since the Tops shooting. So that's more than a year. That's almost 2 years. That's more than 2 years at this point. It's getting closer to home. I look over my shoulder just to go to Walmart. Kelly, good morning to you. Glad you're with us. She says, I'm scared for my grandkids. It's just getting so out of hand. What will the world be when they grow up? I'm hoping for change, but it's crazy. And, that's a really good point, too. I was sitting there with my nieces and nephew yesterday, and, I talk about them all the time, and I just absolutely adore them. And I couldn't help but to think that they know nothing more than this kind of chaos, or will know nothing more than this kind of chaos, and how important it is for all of us to kind of shift that narrative for them to make their lives better, but eliminating this kind of rhetoric, this kind of anger and hostility toward each other, and make sure that we are kind to one another. And I know it sounds so stupid, and so silly, like, oh, just be kind, but how important it is to be kind to yourself, be kind to others around you. And I was really trying to have that conversation with them yesterday, just kind of explaining oh, it's really important. Oh, that's not nice. Or let's try talking this way, or not saying that, let's try it a different way. I just thought it was really important to kind of embrace them and make sure that they know that they're not alone. Because Kristen says it's a scary world. Yeah, Connie, the shooter is dead. Secret Service wound up taking him out after he started firing. And then Marguerite says, I can't believe they missed seeing the shooter on the roof. I feel especially bad for the man who died. He had a volunteer. No. Okay, so I want to make sure that we're clear here. And I said this on the air, and I want to make sure that we're clear again here on Second Cup. So we saw his jacket hanging up on the outside the firehouse where he retired from. And on the back of his jacket, it said Buffalo. I just want to make sure that we're perfectly clear here. This is not Buffalo, New York. This is Buffalo Township, I believe, because I saw that yesterday also, and damn near split a gut, because when I saw the jacket, or when I saw that he was from Buffalo Township, my head started spinning. But no, he is not from Buffalo, has no connection to Buffalo as far as I know, Buffalo, New York, but was connected indeed to Buffalo Township, Pennsylvania. The two others still in critical condition. She says, I'm not a fan of Trump, but don't want to see him dead. He's a human being. Right. Cindy saying of the shooter, he's an evil person who needed major help with prison time. And unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, the shooter was neutralized by the police after he started shooting. Fortunately, obviously, that shooter was neutralized. Unfortunately, he died. I obviously don't want anyone to die, but of course, that's the nature of what happens here. You start shooting at a president, and they're going to take you out. I mean, plain and simple. Lori, oh, sorry, go ahead. Can we bring that one comment back up? I apologize, John. No matter your political affiliation, so glad Trump didn't die. That would have been horrific. And the attempted assassination alone is horrific, but the fact that had he been killed, our nation would have been at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads right now, nonetheless. Kim says, I'm not a Republican, but that's just crazy. This world is upside down. Julie says, I feel so bad for this kid's family. On top of being a bad shot, you don't mess with those snipers. Presidential snipers are badass. She says, don't mess with them. Sherry says, that was so horrifying to see. Our country needs to stop being hateful toward one another. Brittany says, I feel bad for thoughts that are hurt or deceased and their families. No matter what side you're on, he showed strength in how he handled the situation, and that is scary because there isn't the same physical strength on the other side, she says, with our sitting president. Interesting comment. And Marguerite, absolutely, yeah. And it's Buffalo Township too, so it's not even just like Buffalo, period. It's like literally Buffalo Township. Who else is here with us? Kim says, I may not like Trump, but what happened was awful to watch. Yeah, Shonda, all the emotions came flooding back. This is a moment where we will remember where we were, what we were doing, and how the nation reacted. And the way we either come together or continue this division will translate into how history perceives this moment. So it is either incumbent upon us to kind of reshape and rethink the way we handle politics in our community and beyond. Or we can continue on as business as usual, continue the same rhetoric, the same way we speak about one another, the same way we handle goodness and grace with keyboard warriors or saying whatever we want on social media, or we could kind of change that up and not do that anymore, right? Do you know what I mean? Like we can change our civilization here a little bit by just being nice, just being kind. Kristen says the country is insane now, but if he died, it would have been 100 times worse, no doubt. Marguerite says we would have had a civil war. Hey, Jim, good morning once again. Referring to this morning's conversation, May 19th, 1986, Peter Gabriel released his song Red Rain from the So album. Weird. I just posted this piece of music on my Facebook page 5 days ago. Okay, cool. Maybe we can take a look at that link and perhaps put it up there. Lauren says, it doesn't matter if you like someone or not, completely unacceptable no matter which political party or person it is. Right. I like this, Shirley. Make America kind again. And make America kind again is an interesting phrase because America's history is checkered, right? I mean, we had slavery, we had Civil War, there's been political violence. I don't know. I mean, America is a wonderful place to live. We are so lucky and so fortunate to live here, but we've got to acknowledge what's happened in the past, I guess, to move on to the future. So I would love just to say, let's be kind and really take what we've learned and move into the future, so that we don't have history repeating itself. Jeanette says, this moment in the debate within a few weeks of each other is definitely a collective moment that we will always remember together. Kelly says, everything has become so negative. Let's bring back the positive vibes. Exactly. Like, can we just be nice? Let's just be cool. Low-key vibes. Let's just let everything mellow. But of course, tonight we should point out is the start of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. The president is there, and he's going to likely announce his vice presidential running mate in the next day or so, and could theoretically have this huge platform where he himself is able to change the tenor, change the way this campaign is going. We know President Biden has taken off his political advertising because of what's happened to the former president. We know that the president and Donald Trump have spoken to each other, and the conversation was said to be good. But it'll be interesting to see what Trump has to say at the RNC tonight. Lauren says, it makes me feel so good when I have a nice and friendly convo with a stranger. I wish it was always like that. Lori says, everyone has to show respect for each other because it's been lost. Peter says, this might sound weird, but maybe we need to start playing We Are the World for the country to unite it and come together. Right. I mean, like, how do we unite? How do we come together for the betterment of society, for the collective good? Like, it really takes sometimes a national tragedy to come together and say, we're going to do better. We're going to change the course, this dynamic. And it shouldn't have to come to that. Yet, after 9/11, we had never been as united as we were after 3,000 plus people were killed. And here we are, 24 years later, and we're living in a post 9/11 world. And it is high security, high stakes. No matter where we go, you're being patted down. You can't walk into an arena without getting a pat down because some crazy person is going to come in and blow us up, right? Like, that's the thought process that so many people have, and they're concerned, and it shouldn't have to get to that point. Joyce says, my own family has had issues because of politics. And Joyce, maybe if you want to explore, let's check that out. I'd love to hear more about that. Lori says, what happened to love thy neighbor? Yeah, great question. And Jeanette says, let there be peace on earth and let it begin in me. Love that. Kristen said, they said he's changing his speech, the former President Trump, to promote unity. I hope he does, and I hope it stays for both parties. Carmen, though, says, Trump divided this country. The hate became more open when he began his run. He will continue. That's my opinion. And it's okay. I mean, look, we can have these opinions. We can have conversations on, and important to hear, both sides of the conversation. Julie says, my buddy's a Biden fan. We have funny conversations. Lauren says, yes, I'm scared about going anywhere. I don't even like bringing my kids to the grocery store. I also want to point out to you that I invited both Nick Langworthy, Congressman Nick Langworthy, and Congressman Tim Kennedy on the show today. I'd never heard back from Kennedy's folks. Nick Langworthy couldn't make it here today. He might join us tomorrow to talk about the state of politics in our country and how we move forward. Because I also saw somebody comment here about it's the guns. Sarah, actually, good morning to you. She says, guns are the problem once again. My biggest question is that this was an AR-style weapon, and it was bought legally. Why? I just want to know. I want to know where both of these lawmakers stand. Now having dealt with something at Tops, now having a former president, he was almost assassinated, right? Like, let's call it what it is. The former president was shot. It doesn't register, I think, until something like that happens. So where do we go from here? I really wanted to have that conversation with both lawmakers, and perhaps we'll have it with Congressman Langworthy tomorrow. Shirley says, we all need to be responsible for our own actions and trying your best to be respectful. Lori says, whether you like Trump or not, he was our past president, and you cannot do what this young man did. He said, it's just disrespectful. This is the firefighter who died. President Biden, of course, addressing the country after President Trump was shot here, raising that fist with that bloody ear under the American flag. Now a crime scene this morning, and still federal officials are trying to figure out how, in fact, this happened, and they are now calling for investigations into how the Secret Service handled itself, considering the fact that people saw this man on the roof before Secret Service took action. Danielle said, I think if the sniper really wanted him dead, he would have been dead. He had the perfect, clear opportunity to shoot him in the head, killing him, and only pierced his ear with the bullet. I think the sniper wanted to die and took the easy way out. See, that's really interesting. So you're thinking, Danielle, this was death by cop. An interesting conversation point. Sometimes people have that mentality. And, this kid really at 20 didn't have any social media profiles. He didn't have much of a history except for the fact that, his friend said that he was a loner, kind of bullied in high school, and couldn't make it on the rifle team because he was such a bad shot that it was considered dangerous to have him on the team. Jim says, and it was a good guy with a gun that took him out. Yes, I agree. It was one of the snipers that took him out. But here's the thing. These police officers were armed with the same or better capacity that this shooter had. So, and I'm going to use Tops again as an example, Jim. Aaron Salter Jr., who was the security guard at Tops, also had a gun, but he couldn't stop the shooter because Salter was outgunned. He didn't have the same power to even fight or fight back against Peyton Gendron, who came to Tops with that mission of killing as many Black people as he could. So, we just have to understand that. And yeah, most cases, though, it's not a good guy taking out a bad guy with a gun. And unfortunately, the statistics just don't show that. But I understand what you're saying. Kim says, just my opinion. Trump will feed off all this. And that fist think is awful. Sorry. He is bleeding and yelling, fight, fight. That's not bringing people together. Though I think that he's trying to change the tenor and asking for unity. So we'll see what happens. Carmen wonders, I question why wasn't some Secret Service guys on the podium? Interesting. And perhaps that's something that'll be answered in the coming days as we continue that investigation. Look, an important conversation to have, and I wanted to make sure that we provided you that open space to have that conversation, because as a community, we all know that it's important to talk about it. especially after what happened here in Buffalo. It's so important to have the dialogue and make sure that we are together as a community one way or another. Thank you so much for being with us on Second Cup. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a great day.